And welcome back to the Legislative Lounge. I am your host, Nate Bigelow, with my co-host here, Mike. How are we doing today, Mike?
It's a beautiful day in Arizona.
Finally we're getting past all the rain here in Texas, for the love of God. It's been raining like crazy here. I'm getting sick and tired of it.
You can spend all that rain here.
I would love to, honestly. I mean, I've got my, my theories of where it's all coming from and why it's coming, but, we'll leave that for another time. But yeah, so we were here last week. I wasn't feeling well myself, so we took a week off, but a lot has kind of come down the pipeline. Well, I mean, not a lot, I guess. Just some bigger stories in the sense that, a lot of people have been talking about. One that everybody knows and it has been all over mainstream media and all over, the news networks and whatnot is the whole Epstein situation. Now, I have my own personal beliefs or whatever in regards to it, which you guys are going to get a Nathan rant here in a minute about it all, because I'm sick and tired of individuals that claim to be conservative but never will actually want to conserve anything in this country, like morals, standards, or just accountability in general, right? And that's what we're at right now. So for those that aren't aware, which if you're not aware, do you live under a rock? Anyways, Donald Trump came out with Pam Bondi and all these other people in the DOJ saying that they've closed the investigation on the Epstein files and they're not going to be releasing them. Didn't give us an explanation as to why, which is my main issue with it all. Like, if they would have explained specifically why they weren't, right, then it wouldn't be about to get to this rant that I'm about to get onto. However, was there a list, this notorious client list? No. I knew that. Because, first of all, you got to think of it from the perspective of a business, right? This is a multi-billion-dollar global sex trafficking ring that he was running. You think that there's just some grand list that he put together and say, hey, these are my top 50 customers. No. That's just stupid. It sounds stupid. Why would you even think that? But there is communication. There is phone calls. There are text messages. There is emails. There is computer data that is out there that will absolutely implicate people, which is my issue. So you want to sit here, you want to tell me there's no grand list. I don't care. I never thought there was in the first place, because from a business perspective, regardless of whether or not it's illegal, it just sounds stupid. Not even normal businesses do that. Do they know who their top clients are? More than likely. Do they have them written down on a list like we're claiming Epstein supposedly did? No. Like, that just sounds ridiculous. But in all reality, you have Donald Trump out here, Pam Bondi. Y'all know how I feel about her. I think that she was an absolute terrible choice in a lot of different perspectives. Has she done good? Yeah, here and here. But in the overall view of her, I think that she's been very ineffective and hasn't done anything that she's promised in regards to anything, honestly, in all reality. But then you have Donald Trump coming out the other day saying that nobody cares about the Epstein's list. Nobody cares about the Epstein files, to be exact. And I'm sitting here because everybody knows on the Legislative Lounge, we keep it real. We support Donald Trump. We voted for him 3 times. I campaigned for him. I went door knocking. And I've done interviews with individuals that support him. I've done numerous things on social media for campaigning and whatnot. So nobody can say that I'm not a true Trump supporter and that I'm not a true conservative. You can say that I'm not MAGA because the MAGA people are proving why I say I'm not MAGA. In the sense that they're out here literally crying about anybody that questions Donald Trump about this, because Daddy Trump said nobody cares, so I don't care no more. Proving everything that the liberals have called you people is mindless drone cultists of Donald Trump. Because the entirety of his campaign was transparency, right? Being the most transparent president in American history. What is transparent about this situation? Is there a list? I've already said there is no list, so I'm not hung up on that. However, you not releasing the files like you said you were, Pam Bondi literally saying that we showed it on our podcast last night. She said back in March that the information was on her desk and she was going to go through it and release it. Now she's backtracking on it and saying, oh, it's just child porn and we ain't going to release that. That's not what we're asking for, Ms. Bondi. Of course we weren't expecting you to show videos of child pornography. Like, what is wrong with your brain? None of that happened. None of that was expected. Like, that is just sheer stupidity, or willful stupidity, honestly, in all reality. But now you have these mindless vexes of MAGA supporters out here coming at us just for questioning why they're being so off-putting about this situation, is the nicest way I could put it for the radio. In the sense that Donald Trump is not being upfront about this. He absolutely is not. And me being a real conservative, I don't just go along with anybody that has an R next to their name. I don't give a rat's butt about it. I'm going to be as clean as I possibly can. And this is going to be a world of me just being as good as possible. And anybody that knows me knows that this is going to be very hard for me, because I cannot stand the hypocrisy of anybody from any stance. And especially from my side, or my claimed side. If you're sitting out there saying that this is okay, that we have bigger fish to fry, and that, oh, you're not worried about the actual agenda of Donald Trump. No, this was a part of his agenda. He ran on it for over a year, people. He was questioned about it numerous times, said it at almost every single rally, brought it up. So don't sit here and tell me that I'm in the wrong for questioning him. I agree with 98 to 99% of everything he's doing, and that's exactly why I voted for him for three straight times, and I actually campaigned for him. Went to doors, handed out flyers. I've done that. Did you, fake MAGA? No. So that's why I have the right to actually question why he's being so dishonest or disingenuous with this situation, I should say. Because in all reality, you are the one that said you were going to release it. Pam Bondi said day one. Kash Patel, day one. Right? Here we are, day 150 or whatever it is now. And now
A lot more than that.
Now it doesn't even exist. Stop it.
So I think it is completely disingenuous, and the way that him and Bondi are going about it basically detracts from the transparency aspect, as you were explaining. You know, I understand that majority of the files related to Epstein are sealed under court documents, right?
Right.
The court filings, right? I can understand that. You should have came out and said that. As far as a client list, like Nate, I knew there was no list. There's nothing saying like these top tier people are going to be on this list and this is who been working with. It's not going to say this. A client list would have global ramifications. It was never like nothing like that was going to be released. Now, what I do have an issue with is a narrative being spun in Congress regarding the Republicans shooting down Democrat Senator Ro Khanna's amendment to the Genius Act regarding the release of Epstein's files. Now, the amendment that Ro Khanna put out basically says the Attorney General shall retain, preserve, and compile any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, and incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein not later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of this act. The Attorney General shall release and publish any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein on a publicly accessible website. The problem I have with that, and I agree with the Republicans blocking it, is because it says any investigation, prosecution, and incarceration evidence and records. And that's a huge problem for me because that places victims at risk.
Right.
So
I can agree with that.
That's too broad of an amendment. There needs to be clarification. You want to bring all the other evidence, negate the victims. You want to bring the charges, the alleged accusations, bring it. You want to redact the victims' names? Do that. You want to take away all the imagery and the recording footage of children? Do that. You need to put that in this amendment, or else it's going to look, it's too broad for me. Now, as far as like releasing the files, just release what you have to the public, minus the victims.
Hello? Exactly. Like, don't sit here and tell me that we were expecting names of victims and things of that nature. That's not what we were looking for. But the fact is that you're allowing pedophiles to run around rampant across the world at this point, and you don't care. You don't care. Or else you would actually do something. But now you got the QAnon nuts all up in an uproar again with different sigils and crap that's on Donald Trump's hat and all this dumb crap again. And it's like, you guys were wrong back in 2020. You're wrong now. Stop with your QAnon crap. Nobody cares. Because in all reality...
Wait. What kind of sigils?
I don't know. I had a bunch of these QAnon nuts coming at me on Truth Social because they're calling me a fake conservative because because I'm questioning Donald Trump. Oh my God, I'm questioning the all supreme leader. Like, I don't know if you guys understand this or not, but people that we vote into office are representation. Stop calling them leaders. They're not leaders. They're subjects of ours that we put out there. We need to start looking at these individuals as if what they actually are, and that's representation of our thoughts, our needs.
100%. Representative trustees, right? We vote them in, right? Through our Republican process, we trust them with a certain level of authority to carry out our will.
Absolutely. And I had somebody on here, I think I even took a screenshot of it. I'll repeat it. It's MAGA is my president again, Bob. It's at Bob Cousins on Truth Social. Yes, I'll call you directly out for this idiocy. It says, and it's not their job to do as they will. They reject the screaming. It's not their job to do our will, is what they're saying, right? And to reject the screaming monarchs of the society. Like, excuse me? That's the exact reason we voted them in, is to do what we want. That is literally their sole purpose. But you are literally feeding into everything that the liberals and the Democrats have called the MAGA cult by doing this exact thing, not thinking for yourself. I can agree with 98 to 99% of everything else Donald Trump has done thus far. But this one thing I question him on, and I'm a liberal all of a sudden. I'm a Democrat. I'm a this, I'm a that. In all reality, it's funny because all it is from people online or, just in general that have never done anything with politics, that have never interviewed local or state or federal candidates, that they've never actually done events. They've never went to a booth. They've never handed out flyers. They've never knocked on doors. I have.
Let's make it simpler. These are the types of people that only know the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. And
they probably couldn't even recite them correctly if you asked them. But this is exactly why I say, just because somebody claims to be conservative or has an R next to their name, so I'm talking about people in society or in office, that doesn't mean they are actually that thing. They are not conservative or Republican just because they have it next to their name or they claim to be. It's the same thing with the religion, guys. Not getting on that, but you guys can relate to that a little bit more. It is what it is. Just because I question him on one thing doesn't make me a fake conservative. It makes me a real one because I'm conserving the transparency that he promised.
100%. And it's that type of thinking is the same as that type of thinking with liberals with Joe Biden.
Exactly. It's exactly. And I said that to somebody as well today. It's like, you guys are the exact same as the liberals. You just come to the same destination from two different directions. And the destination is pure idiocy.
Well, it's like, all it is that, different teams. And we've argued against this. You and I have argued against just going R down the line, supporting just because they have an R. Like, this is why you and I started this, is because we are questioning not just the Democrats, but we're questioning our own base.
If not more.
And I tell everybody all the time, I have more fun debating Republicans than I do Democrats, because as a Republican, I'm a registered Republican, have been since I was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And it's my job to hold my own party accountable. Right. Because I want my party to be an accurate representation of what the Constitution is supposed to be.
As they claim to be.
As they claim to, exactly. Donald Trump promised transparency. This goes against that promise. Oh, this little piece. goes against that promise. Everything else, I'm cool with. You want to talk about tariffs? We brought in $100 billion of tariffs
105.
at the least. $105 billion just in tariff revenue with incomplete tariff deals. You want to talk about that? That's awesome.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about, you want to talk about, Donald Trump being steamrolled by federal district courts operating out of the judicial purview? We can have that conversation. You want to talk about the John Thune dragging his butt with the NORA Act, which should be a top conversational piece in Congress? We could talk about that.
Talking about that, though, I do want to touch on that for a minute, because we're out here complaining about all these judges doing all of these things, going outside of their jurisdiction, literally not listening to the Supreme Court, when we could literally put forth a law, and then we could go after them and remove them for breaking the law. And yet, it seems like the Republicans are wanting to sit here and grandstand. Oh my God! Look at these judges. They're going outside their purview. Continuously saying this. John Thune, Mike Johnson, all of them, right? They're all saying the same thing. And yet, here's a bill that would literally eliminate all of that, or at least give us grounds to remove them from the bench, and then we could move forward. But no, they don't want to do that.
To remove a judge from the bench, or remove a lawyer from practicing, all you have to do is report them to the bar, and they will get removed. Like I mentioned it yesterday on our other channel about the what is it? I forget which judge it was, but she put an injunction on the one big beautiful law. Put an injunction on a provision of the law that defunds Planned Parenthood. You can't do that. That goes way outside of the scope of your judicial purview as a federal district judge.
And yet nothing. They sit here, they grandstand and complain and make a big show about how they're so disgusted by how they're doing, but nobody does anything. Nobody does anything, or willing. None of them have the gall or the cojones, right, to do anything up there on Capitol Hill, it seems like, because you got people out here like AOC literally slandering the president on her government-verified Twitter account by calling him a rapist, right? And nothing has been said about it. Nothing has been said about it. And, people are like, I had so many leftists sit here and say that, it's you can't go after them for saying the truth. You might want to tell CNN and George Stephanopoulos that, because they just paid out millions for doing the exact same thing.
100%. I hope that there's a defamation case in the works, and she should be brought up on, a myriad of different things, and she should be removed.
I mean, we've already proven that she's completely violated the U.S. U.S. Code 1325. Nope.
1324.
24. Sorry. No, nobody's done anything about it.
So there's a lot of senators that are violating, different codes, statutes, acts. I mean, you had those representatives that went to El Salvador violating the Logan Act.
Mm.
Like, you had AOC violating U.S. Code 1324. You have Adam Schiff committing mortgage fraud, like, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Yeah, doing the exact same thing that Letitia James did, except for, just in a different state. Whatever. Yeah.
It's wild. When are we going to get to a point where we're going to hold our reputation accountable, whether they be left, right, center, Republican, Democrat?
I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen until we actually do what I've been suggesting, is revamp the whole system. I know this is extreme, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from people that even know us on the show. I don't care. I don't care. The entire system is corrupt. It needs to be redone. We need to go back to 1776 and start over, because this is garbage. We've got Joe Biden out here literally admitting that he didn't approve a majority of the pardons that were signed with the auto pen at the end of he admitted it to the New York Times. Nothing will be done about it.
So what's going on with that? I read a little bit into it, and the National Archives is collaborating or corroborating with the Trump DOJ, and they submitted 27,000 records to the Trump Department of Justice to review. The Trump Department of Justice is expected to review up to 1 million documents regarding this auto pen scandal, and with some of those documents that were already turned over to the DOJ, there's email traffic as recorded or as reported by the New York Times from Biden staffers, basically utilizing the auto pen to grant clemency, perform different executive actions, while Joe Biden is simultaneously on vacation and golfing. Not to mention that there are 5 criminal pardons that his staffers just signed, without Joe Biden's approval or direct orders. And then you had a proposed pardon list that Joe Biden did not approve of, and Joe Biden didn't even approve of the revised list, but the staffers approved it for him and used his auto pen anyway.
These are the type of things that I don't care how many files have been sent to the DOJ, they've lost all trust, which is hard for me to say because in all reality you have the FBI director, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino out here, and I like both of them. I thought they were phenomenal picks, and I thought they were going to do more, honestly, just because, especially what Dan Bongino did throughout his entire time through his podcast and all the things, especially with the whole Epstein files things, right? Like, I knew, like, when he blew up and took Friday off, I knew he was being, he was pissed about it in all reality. But yet, here we are with a government that does nothing about anything. It's the same hum-hole crap that we were trying to vote against and trying to vote out, but yet here we are. And all I get from people, from the Republicans or the conservatives is, be patient. The plan is, the 5D chest is in action. Shut up. Honestly, shut up. You sound stupid at this point.
Well, it's wild. Like, I can go on my social media handle on TikTok, and I can make a video calling out Trump, and I guarantee you it will do well on that application. Mm-hmm. I can call him out for the Epstein transparency, and I guarantee you majority of my comments will be with liberals, either saying I told you so, or MAGA crazed quote unquote Republicans saying calling me or some type of loose lip cannon.
Right. And it's gotten to the point of, like, at this point I don't know who to trust. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Like, I trust Trump in regards to trade and foreign relations, things like that. Like, that's, like I said, 98% of the, when it comes to transparency and actually putting away criminals and trying to clean up government and all this other stuff that he claimed that he was going to do, he's got zero trust for me. Here we are with an entirely new revamped cabinet as well, seeing the same crap.
I'm seeing good moves from the Health and Human Services Department. I'm seeing good moves as far as disbanding the Department of Education.
Right.
As far as the Department of Justice, as far as the Department of Justice goes, in 6 months, I haven't seen anything that's remotely good yet.
Right.
I don't care about the JFK files. It's basically a confirmation. I don't care about the MLK files because majority of that stuff was already released. I wanted the 9/11 files, and I wanted the Epstein files. I wanted transparency, and I haven't seen it.
Right. I mean, when it comes to the 9/11 files, nobody's even talked about that, right? Of course they're not going to, because we made millions and millions, billions of dollars off of that, 20-year war while, millions of our American soldiers were dying. But, even though we started it, you can sit here and call me all you want, conspiracy theorists and all this other stuff. I don't care. I don't care. You're irrelevant to me. But going into what you were saying, Mike, one major win for Donald Trump and his agenda was the Supreme Court ruling in his favor in regards to the dismemberment and complete shutdown, eventually, of the Department of Education.
100%. And for those that don't know, the Department of Education has done nothing good for America's youth. It started in 1979 under President Jimmy Carter, and prior to its conception, the American illiteracy rate, so the ability for Americans to read and write, the literacy rate was above 96%, right? 96% of American adults had the ability to read and write. Now, 2025, it's like 1 in every 5 adults, 65 million Americans do not possess the ability to read or write. And the main issue with the federal Department of Education is their use of financial incentives to pass their own agenda.
All right, and I know that we were in a conversation about this with some people earlier, and it's just from the very beginning, when it comes to the Department of Education, it just seems like a very redundant thing anyways, because all they're doing is taking our tax money and then giving it right back to us.
100%. And there was no need for a bureaucratic federal vehicle to disperse funds that the state's responsible for allocating anyway.
Right. And then I know we've talked about it a long time ago when this was all being brought up in our view here, and we gave specific numbers, and it's been a while, but I believe it's like somewhere around $240 billion annually is what the DOE takes in, right? Only 6 to 8% of that is actually redistributed out to schools. So the question then becomes, where is this 92 to 94% of the money going to? What is the purpose of it if only 6 to 8% of it is even going to the schools?
It was getting reallocated to USAID.
Exactly. That's exactly, and those are the type of things that's the problem, and people don't want to see it. And they're like, "Oh, you're just conspiracy. You got nothing to prove that with, blah blah blah." And yet we have the information from Doge, right? Oh, they just pass that off. I'm like, I could say that this cup is white, right? And I could put it in your face and say, "Look, it's white." And they're like, "No, it's not white." That's literally what they're doing. I'm floored with how America has become so docile over the years to the point where they believe whatever they're told and they do nothing about it. All they do is they cry and they moan about things they may not like, which most times they're ill-educated on it in the first place, right? So they shouldn't be crying about certain things, and when they do have a valid reason, they don't do anything about it. Nobody does anything, which is why these politicians and these people in power, quote unquote, feel like they can do anything without any safeguards, without any checks and balances. That's why we are in the predicament that we're in, and why so many people clung onto somebody like Donald Trump during his campaign, talking about how he was going to change things. And yet here we are in the second term of Donald Trump. I know, we're only about, 5 months in? There's time.
7 months in.
Is it 7?
It's like, yeah, we're in July now, so it came into
I don't count
January 20th.
Yeah, I call it 6.5 months. Yeah, so.
Okay, so 6.5 months in, but it's like.
But I mean,
we're making wins. We're making wins. Don't get us wrong. We're not anti-Trump.
No, absolutely not.
But we're not full tilt, remedial Trump.
We're
analyzing situations. We're looking at the information coming in, and we're saying, okay, this move was good. This move was bad. And every time we say Trump made a bad move, we we get obliterated.
And it's just it's those areas in which where we are. You have where we question Donald Trump and what he's doing versus what he promised during his campaign, and when he doesn't do it, it then begs the question and gives validity to what the left has been saying, which we don't want to give, is the fact of where else is he going to bend? Where else is he going to stop? Where else is he going to cut it short? And then you give more power to the liberals about Donald Trump. That's the problem. I don't want to give them anything because I know what he can do. We've seen it. When it comes to trade, when it comes to foreign relations, when it comes to just basically pulling people together for a common cause, there's very little, if anybody else, that can do it as better as he had. And again, I'm not saying he's God or anything like that. I'm not going one way or the other. But at the same time, when he doesn't follow through on something, we have to sit here and analyze it. That's what makes us different from the left, is because we do hold them accountable for the things that they say. And this isn't like something that, he had mentioned one or two times, or, it was, just kind of like a hum-ho kind of a thing. No, he talked about it repeatedly throughout his entire campaign. I know we keep hitting home on it and everything, but it's like, it comes to a point of, like I said, getting back to what I was saying, is that where else can he bend if not here, right? Like, we're talking about children being hurt and pedophiles. But, I mean, I guess y'all do you, right? Y'all do you in that sense. In all reality, we've got a lot of stuff coming up here, though, on the good side of things. Stock market's back where it's supposed to be, like we claimed it would be. We have the threats of tariffs going back into play for many countries on August 1st, because the deadline is coming up. So we should be seeing all of these trade deals going into effect, right? A lot of people are still complaining about prices and all this other stuff. And, oh my God, look at the price of groceries. They haven't actually went down. Yes, they have, actually. Like, for instance, everybody was, complaining about eggs, right? Eggs. Big commodity of eggs. It went down 7.5% over the last month. One of the biggest drops in prices of all time.
Gas is still going down.
Gas is going to go extremely down with the changes in the big beautiful bill, right? The deregulation, getting rid of
people are mad about that thing.
Getting rid of all of the leasing requirements and whatnot when it comes to oil and natural gases. You guys are going to love it by the end of next year for sure. But you want to sit here and people be like, oh, the bad, it's defunding SNAP. No, it's not. They didn't change any amount of the funding when it comes to SNAP. What they did do is they put a work requirement on it.
They hardly changed anything in SNAP. They didn't change anything to the what's it called? Supplemental Nutritional Bill or Act or whatever it's called.
Nothing.
And SNAP is a supplement to your income. It's body. You get to go to work. You don't get to be lazy. You don't get to live off my tax dollar because you're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pay for your medical bills because you're lazy and don't want to go to the gym and don't want to eat healthy and you want to survive on honey buns. Sorry, Nate.
No.
I know how much you like honey buns.
But but the thing is people really, what they're really not realizing with this bill is that first of all, there was a deadline that they had to get passed by, right? For it to be able to go into place for next year. And if they didn't do it, how much your taxes would then definitely change without that bill. That's what you guys don't realize. Because all of the 2017 tax advantages that you, regardless of how you feel about it, and, my CPA didn't, I have less deductions. We've heard the whole gambit from all of you liars, right? We heard it today in a live. It was like, no, your CPA just sucks in all reality. Get a new one. All the tax advantages that you've seen since 2017, the increased tax credit on deductibles, the tax brackets, the child credit, all that stuff. Yeah, that was going away. That was going to be gone. Just so y'all know, which is why they were rushing to get this in place. Is it perfect? No. Like, for instance, the no tax on tip, no tax on overtime. It's not entirely what we were promised, but of course the left is trying to take it and twist it and say, it's not actually a no tax. It's a deduction at the end of the year. Well, no dip. Do you get that money back or not? Of course you do. So yes, it is actually ultimately no tax on tip. However, the bad part of it, or the not so pleasant part of it, is two things. One, there is a sunset clause in it of 2028. That kind of sucks. So we got to go revisit back by the beginning of 2028 eventually, or probably in 27. So then I don't know why you didn't make it permanent. It is what it is, but whatever. 2, they put caps on it, right? Now these caps have a minute, like you can't go over $25,000 and whatnot and all this other stuff. But in all reality, you take a look at it from the boss perspective. Would you rather have it or not have it at all? Would you rather have it with caps so that way you do get some money back? Or would you rather not have it at all? Like, yes, I admit, it's not exactly what we were promised. However, it's something better than nothing, guys. I'm pretty sure anybody that works overtime or works in the service industry that works off of tips, they're going to love it because they're going to have more money in their pocket. Is it going to be an exorbitant amount of money back in their pocket? Probably not, no. A couple $100, maybe 1,000 or 2, depending on how much you take in and pay off your by tips. That's a significant...
Not just that, like, I continue to emphasize this point. People, if you are getting a tax return, that means you are paying too much.
Right.
Like if this bill increases the standard deduction, it creates more avenues for you to itemize your taxable income. That way it's not taxed as much, right?
Right.
Whether it be business expenditures, whether it be out-of-pocket costs for student-related funding, but these are good things. And though they are short because of the sunset clause, these are great things. I would just implore you to get a better CPA, read into the tax code, actually read the bill, or watch the Legislative Lounge. Majority of you that rely on one form of income, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
If you're only relying off earned income, you need to start diversifying your income.
Right.
You need to start looking for other avenues of earning money, whether that be becoming an influencer. This is the internet age. There's so many avenues of earning money rather than just your average 9 to 5.
Absolutely. And I mean, in all reality, when you like, the one thing that I can't get over about this bill is the fact that people claimed for months, and even to this day, that this bill is only giving advantages to the uber rich. When you actually look at the bill, it's 330 pages, guys. It's a small book. Go read it. Honestly, it's really not that difficult.
It's fun.
And if you're like,
there's nothing that changed in the tax code when it comes to the uber rich.
No, they didn't change at all. But you know who else did? Everybody else. Everybody else's tax bracket will be changed and lowered. Deductions for small business riddled all over the bill. Nobody read, like, it's literally labeled for small business. Like, you can do Control F and type small business, and you'll see all of it in there. Like, I don't understand
100%.
why people are saying this stuff about it, and it's like, you've never actually read it.
Oh, yes, I have.
No, you haven't. I can promise you 99% of the people that even say that can't understand half the words that are even in this bill. Right? Because they have no clue what they mean.
These people also think, in another aspect of the bill, these are the same people that think Medicaid is getting $1.2 billion cut, or $1.2 trillion cut.
Over 10 years.
Like, no. I've heard them say that it's going to get cut. Either $1 trillion cut from the Medicaid spending. It's like, it's over a 10-year period. $1 trillion over 10 years would be $100 billion. Our Medicaid spending annually is like 800 to 900 billion.
Yeah.
So it's like 863 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's still $763 billion annually split up between the states. And the majority of the cuts to Medicaid have to do with not paying for people that don't qualify. You're not going to give Medicaid benefits to people that are able-bodied work. So they're not going to get full Medicaid. They're going to get, portion of Medicaid. You're not going to give Medicaid to people who immigrate here legally until they've reached a 5-year mark. and you're not going to give Medicaid benefits to people who are here illegally.
Right. And before any of you goobers out there sit here and say, "Oh, they're not getting that stuff," yes, they are. Especially in California and New York, they've openly talked about it. Like, this isn't conspiracy or just some kind of Republican talking point or whatnot. Like, they literally have programs and websites for this stuff. I mean, especially what was it, day one of the Trump administration, New York has been giving food vouchers out to immigrants for the last couple years. There's a literal you can go to New York Times, New York Post, Washington Post, whatever fits your fancy of left or versus right media. They all put the same thing out there, talking about how New York ended those food vouchers, which comes from SNAP. Just so y'all know.
But it's like my favorite thing is the statement that the left makes all the time. Undocumented immigrants pay $91 billion in taxes.
No, they don't.
It is the most funny statement to me, because in order to pay taxes, whether it be state or federal, you have to have some type of identification. Some type of identification.
That's too big of a word for them. Identification's too big of a word for them. For the undocumented to pay taxes, they have to have a document. Oh my God! World revelation.
You need a social, you need an EIN or a TIN number in order to participate in the paying of state and federal taxes.
Like,
if you don't have that because you're undocumented, the ones that are paying $91 billion in taxes every year, those are legal immigrants.
Documented immigrants. And you would sit here. Let's put it this way. How are they going to pay taxes when they don't have a tax number? How is the IRS going to apply it? Like, it's like simple deduction evades you people, honestly. I'm not being nice on this show anymore. Because it's like the pure stupidity of Americans has reached my limit. And the fact that you guys can't...
Well, it's funny. They either will say, oh, illegal aliens are not getting Social Security numbers. Okay, well, how are they paying taxes?
Yeah, I mean, they are. There's literally programs and they built an app to do it.
I know, but they're either getting Social Security numbers as an illegal alien, and they're paying into the federal taxes, or they're not getting a Social Security number and they're not paying into taxes. Which side are you on?
I mean, let's be real. Undocumented immigrants are not paying taxes because they're getting paid under the table. Because then the employers have to file that they have that extra expenditure, right? For those employees. Then the question becomes, did they legally hire legal workers? Because that puts their business at risk of being shut down or being fined heavily for employing illegals, which is against the law. It's the simple things, Mike. We come to the point of not
It blows my mind, Nate. It blows my mind. The fact that, millions of people are going to lose their coverage. 11 million people are going to be uninsured by 2034.
Right.
Like, I don't even know. It's like the Congressional Budget Office saying that we're going to be, this one big beautiful bill is going to cause a net detriment, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you coming to that conclusion and your analysis without including economic projected revenue?
Right.
Based on tariffs and trade deals with foreign nations.
It's those modules that nobody understands how they're actually done. They don't take into... they're just taking what they see in the sense of where the cuts are being made. They don't take into how it will affect the economy to the point where the GDP will go up and things of that nature. But I mean, going back to I mean, I wanted a real quick touch on the whole Medicare thing or Medicaid and all that other stuff, right? Like you said, what was it, like 30 million Americans or something like that? 20 million?
11 million Americans. 11 million Americans uninsured by 2034.
Oh, 34. Okay, so here's the problem. People are like, oh, Obama did such a great job getting millions of Americans, health insurance and all that, at the detriment of every other American that pays for their insurance. Because me, working in that field, I can say that it absolutely affected everybody else's premium to the point where a lot of hardworking Americans that did have insurance went uninsured because they couldn't afford it anymore. For example, my insurance through my workplace, I don't carry because I think it's too expensive for the benefits. So I go uninsured, which is why I'm such a stickler on health and wellness and working out and all that stuff. But that's regardless of the point. But it just proves the point where I'm an example of it. Like, Obamacare completely ruined the insurance industry when it comes to health insurance. It took hardworking, good plans, and it tossed them out because you have all these people now going on to Medicare, Medicaid, through Obamacare, and all these crap plans, and they're committing all of these medical fraud throughout their entire country, and yet they're draining the system, right? I mean, all of these hospitals have to get the money from somewhere, so and yet we're the ones that are paying for it.
Well, it's like, so as you know, Nate, I work in the healthcare field. I see people come in that don't have documentation, that don't have any type of insurance. The hospital then the hospital has to use the state insurance program for that cost.
Mm-hmm.
And Arizonans pay for that.
Right.
My state taxes cover that. I don't want my state taxes to cover illegal aliens. I don't want my state taxes to cover undocumented people.
No, absolutely not. Because I don't even carry my insurance for myself because it's too expensive. I don't have it for my family because it's too expensive.
I don't carry insurance through my job either because honestly, the bureaucracy between that is just a whole nother conversation. I get my health insurance through the VA. My wife, on the other hand, it's like $400 a month for health insurance.
I wish mine would be $400 a paycheck.
Or is it $400 a paycheck?
Yeah, it's probably a paycheck.
Might be $400.
Yeah,
it's probably. I think it's $400 a paycheck.
Because for the best plan that we have, which would be more ideal, so I'm not paying thousands of dollars in deductibles, right, through my work, it would be $900 a paycheck. That for the best plan.
Ooh.
Yes, and I'm not. I will show anybody it. Like it's ridiculous what these prices have done to us hardworking Americans. And I'm not hurting for money. Don't get me wrong. I'm just unwilling to pay for it when I can do things naturally and I can take care of my health and not eat garbage, right? I haven't been. I think the last time I went to the doctors, which was honestly, it wasn't even a doctor. It was an urgent care because I got poison ivy, and I paid out of pocket for the because I'm highly allergic to poison ivy, and it closed my face and everything. I had to get one of those shots. But before that, I think the last time that I went to a doctor for a checkup, like a normal routine thing, was 2018.
Yeah, the last time I went to the doctor was 2023. I paid for everything. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous how much they upcharge. So, yeah, it's just. But I don't want to pay for. I don't want to pay for undocumented people.
One good thing about the big beautiful bill as well, it's related to the medical information, is that we were talking with a doctor in a live the other night. He's from California, and he was worried about a lot of his patients or whatnot not being able to get the treatment that they need because they're getting rid of, because a lot of them are doing through telehealth now, right? And there was some information, or there was a law or something that was passed a few years ago that gave free telehealth, right? to the individuals because the government or whatever was paying for it up to this particular week, this week. And because of the big beautiful bill, it's extended that permanently, which he didn't know at the time. So I had to show him in the bill for those that are want to know where exactly it is. It's on page 254 of 330, just so you know that I actually did read the bill. It tells about how they're permanently extending the telehealth. So for those that don't want to go into their doctors and have to pay these exorbitant deductibles and whatnot through their plan or high deductible plans, they can go through telehealth for free and have a communication with a doctor without having to pay a deductible up front. Now, if they need medicine, things like that, through that consultation, then obviously they pay, whatever their health insurance pays from through that point. But the fact is you can still be seen through telehealth for free at this point because of the big beautiful bill.
Well, and it's like that's a big help for rural areas too.
Yeah, or just people that don't have the physical ability to go into the office. Let's put it that way.
100%. And I'm just it's so many left-leaning narratives surrounded by this, but one of the good, I think we talked about it earlier with the one big beautiful bill just defunding Planned Parenthood completely.
Right.
That was amazing. I don't want my taxpayers going to an organization that ends life in the womb. Nope. That primarily makes its money off of ending life in the womb. I don't want my money to go towards that.
No, absolutely not. And then be like, oh, it's so much more than that. It's birth control and all this other stuff. It's like they can go to the doctor. They can go to a health clinic for that. You can just not have sex either. There's that crazy idea, right? Or at least be smart about it.
You can wait till you get married. You can wait till you're financially stable.
Crazy.
That way you're not oops-a-babying. So, but with that defunding of Planned Parenthood, you have that judge that delved outside their judicial purview and said, I don't like this part of the law. Nope. That's still wild.
I honestly can't wait to see how dumb they're going to look when that happens. I mean, it's crazy. And, remind me, this actually reminds me, because we were just talking about Planned Parenthood. Is that the same bill where they talked about future humans too?
Oh, no. That's a different judge. So the judge pertaining to Planned Parenthood has to do the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, right. With that provision about defunding Planned Parenthood. The one that you're talking about,
yes,
involves a judge by the name of Joseph, and the birthright citizenship,
yes,
executive order. Now, this judge made the case for pro-life advocacy groups all across America to ban abortion.
You just gotta blurt it out. You gotta build that up for the audience, Mike.
The way he used it.
Well, hang on. Explain what it was that he did in the first place, so that way they can get context.
So as everybody knows, the Supreme Court made a ruling on the nationwide injunctions, and that the federal district courts had no grounds for preventing the executive orders unless it's a class action. Now, this judge decided to approve a class action pertaining to birthright citizenship for all persons. He was going to grant them injunctive relief for all persons and future persons born on or after February 25th, 2025.
Uh-oh.
So that judge, utilizing the language, all persons and future persons, creates case precedents surrounding personhood for unborn life in the womb.
Uh-oh.
Because if he was only meaning it to be for born individuals, he would just say all persons born on or after.
Uh-oh.
Future persons in a legal context creates a totally different avenue. Legalese is its own language. When you make this order the way it is, all persons and future persons, you are then creating a window of opportunity for pro-life advocacy groups to then establish through their own court filings, their own affidavits, that, well, if you get an abortion, now I can charge you with, manslaughter.
So, Mike, what is?
I can charge you with.
Do you have the name of that case or the case number?
I'll see if I can pull it up, but it's Joseph LaPlante.
Yeah, go ahead and try and pull that up real quick, because honestly, I want to give a shout out to any of the pro-lifers out there, the advocacy groups out there, because me and Mike, we are anti-abortion, right? That's through and through. I don't believe in it. We have varying ideas between me and Mike in regards to what extent, but in all perspective, we believe in protecting the innocent, and there's nothing more innocent than the unborn, right? And in that case, if you are a part or know anybody that's a part of a pro-life advocacy group that could file suit to try and push this agenda, to push for the safety of unborn children, I want you to use this case when you go file, or tell your advocacy groups that you work with or you know of to use this case. Mike, do you have
100%? And I got it pulled up here. So you're going to be looking for the United States District Court, District of New Hampshire, Barbara et al. The Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, in his official capacity et al. Civil number 25-CV-244-JL-AJ.
And the name of that one more is who versus Donald Trump?
Barbara et al. The Donald J. Trump.
There you go, people. If
you just Google Joseph LaPlante, Judge, Birthright Citizenship, you'll find it.
And put PDF at the end of it, so that way you can actually pull up the document. Anytime you want to look for an actual court document or whatnot, put in the name of it and put PDF at the end of it, it'll come right up. Just a little.
So I pulled this off, and it's under the document cloud. And order granting petitioner's motion for provisional class certification and appointment of class counsel. So this case is going to move forward, and it's quite amazing.
I'd be surprised if there isn't advocacy groups across the nation that actually filed these suits on Monday, because that was rendered on Friday, I believe, Friday afternoon. Like, I'd be surprised if there isn't at least one. So, but yeah, like I say, we got a lot going on. A lot of stuff in the next couple weeks should definitely be coming down the pipeline with the trade deals. We're right there, guys. We've been telling you guys for months now. Just wait. We're at that point, okay? We're at that point. We're right there. So hold on tight and watch everything explode. But again, we thank you guys for joining us tonight. We love all of you and everything. Hopefully, if you had any kind of offense to anything that we said, sorry, not sorry. We tell it how it is. We tell our opinion, and that is what it is. It's our opinion individually for what we said here today. But we thank you. We love you. Mike, take us home.
Thank you so much for tuning into our show, the greatest podcast in America, the Legislative Lounge, hosted by the Radio Dabang. Thank you so much to Radio Dabang for continuing to deal with our rants and our thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. And be sure to follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. And if you have anything that you want us to cover, be sure to DM us. And until next time, we love you. God bless.